Hello, fellas. It's Jaffe. It's good to see you. Nintendo just had their Nintendo Direct. There's a live stream of it. You can watch us watch it if you're interested in such malarkey. But I will say, I wanted to speak to Metroid Dread. There was an announcement. The first announcement was they're adding like a super hard mode, Dread mode or something, where if you get hit once, you're dead. It's game over. I guess there are humans on the planet that are into such nonsense. It's a quick change in the code. Fine, fuck it, whatever. I was like, really? Good God. But then the dark clouds of Metroid Dread begin to part, and they say, but for people who are new to the series, and I'm like, oh, this has got me written all over it. I'm excited. We have rookie mode. And I was like, oh, fantastic. And at first they're like, okay, well, rookie mode is, I guess they're changing the currency of like health and how much things cost and how much damage you can take. So it's not as punishing. And that's good. That's welcomed. I'm excited about that. But I still, ultimately that's not the problem with Metroid. Let's be fucking clear. The problem with Metroid is the map's really overwhelming and confusing to read compared to other maps in Metroidvania series. It is an absolute clusterfuck on the eyes. The more important one, though, is the game does onboarding really poorly. And I don't care if you disagree or not, because you're simply fucking wrong, okay? I can show you. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. It does onboarding poorly. Here's another game that I adore, by the way, that does onboarding poorly. Bloodborne. I'm playing the fuck out of Bloodborne. It has become one of my favorite games I've ever played since being alive and playing my first game back in 1975, which was called Boot Hill. What a fucking gem of a goddamn game. And it took me years of trying and stopping and trying and stopping and trying and stopping before I happened to be streaming it one night because I was excited for Elden Ring as much as I was frustrated by Bloodborne because I love Demon Souls. I'm like, maybe I just got to give it another chance. And I'm streaming it and someone walks me through how to level up in that game. And they're like, well, you have to go to the first boss, but you don't have to beat the first boss, and that gives you insight, and then the insight lets you go back to this fucking doll, and the doll's suddenly alive and you can level up. I'm sorry, what? Onboarding is shit in that fucking game. Now, you could argue that game, it's intentional. I don't think it's meant to be that intentional. It's disastrous. But once you get past that, and once you realize you can play it like an RPG, and you maybe even should play it like an RPG, you can either, quote, get good and beat it without ever taking a hit, and beat it with a character that's not leveled at all, if you're really fucking get good. Or you can do like I do, which is like when I play a normal RPG, I'm like, oh, I'm stuck here. One of my options is to grind away for a little bit. And the combat happens to be so fucking enjoyable, I'm down. It's a pleasure to grind the character in Bloodborne, okay? And I'm telling you, Bloodborne, one of my favorite games of all time at this point, I can still criticize it. I can still say, yeah, but it has shitty onboarding. How much more successful would it have been if they wouldn't have changed anything? They just would have communicated better to people that already weren't bought in, okay? So you can say what you want about Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread may be brilliant. I understand a lot of people love it. I respect that. That's great. But don't fucking come at me and tell me the onboarding is not a problem in that game, because it is. And the map isn't a clusterfuck on the eyeballs, because it is. So rookie mode, yeah. But I want Jaffe mode is what I want. I don't even care if you make it easier. What I want is a clarity, a sense of onboarding, a sense of professionalism that, let's be fucking clear. If Miyamoto was still heavily involved and this was Nintendo, come on. And it was now. I know back in the day, but things have changed. There's no way. Nintendo is usually one of the best companies for onboarding and getting people in and opening up the game and then making it harder and more interesting with the mechanics. They've done a very good job of teaching. You don't fucking tell me Metroid Dread is excellent and I'm the problem. I'm not the fucking problem. That design's the problem when it comes to onboarding. Take it easy, fellas. It's good to see you. It's good to be back. I'll see you next week. Bye.